Hello, Miss Turnant. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Parenting Through the Coronavirus Pandemic. I don't even count the numbers anymore. We are coming to the end of week 7 of our quarantine here at my house in my state, New Jersey, in the US. And I can't even believe 7 weeks have gone by. It feels like spring break, feels like a long week, feels like summer. It's really strange. And I have to say that I was thinking about our stay-at-home orders go through May 15th, and it's April 30th right now. So there's a possibility that we could be reopening some parts of society in 15 days. I don't know if that means school will go back at that point or at a later point or not until September. I'm not sure. We don't know yet. However, when I thought about the idea of getting back online, going back to some semblance of life as we knew it, even though it will be vastly different, I was a little bit sad, kind of a little bummed. And the reason I feel that way is because I have found this to be such a wonderful bonding time for me and my family, the 7 of us here. We are finding ways to work from home, do school from home. My brother-in-law, who lives with us, is not working. He is, they just told him to stay home, but he doesn't have the kind of job where he could work from home. So he's just not working until they bring him back. And he has generously agreed to repaint some of the rooms in our house, and he's actually doing it right now. So that's keeping him busy and helping him to feel productive. And he's doing a huge favor to us by doing this while he is home. So he's sprucing up our house, which has needed to be done, and we haven't had time to do it, which is awesome. And the kids are figuring out their online schooling stuff. And my husband and I are obviously working from home. And we're in some kind of a routine where everybody kind of does their own thing during the day until dinner time, whether it's work or school or painting or what have you. My niece is here. She's rounding out today is the last exam for her college degree. After today's exam, I'm sorry, tomorrow is the last exam because tomorrow's Friday. After tomorrow's exam, she will officially be finished college, which is really exciting. So we're all doing our stuff during the day. Then we come together at dinner time, and then often we will watch a movie, or more often play card games or a board game, or do a puzzle or something. Last night we all kind of branched out and did our own thing. My 2 sons played video games with their friends separately online. My daughter was working on homework until bedtime or schoolwork. My husband and brother-in-law were watching old volleyball on TV from 2 years ago. And I was sitting in my office doing a puzzle. And that's one of the rare times that we don't do something together. But it's been kind of a very natural flow to our evenings. No one's forced to play games or do any family activities. Everyone is welcome and invited. It's just it's just an understanding. Anybody who wants to participate does. The people who are interested in playing games or watching movies tend to easily agree on a movie or a game. And anyone who wants to join does. Anyone who doesn't. And it's just been a really pleasant experience. Thankfully, we all have our health. We haven't been, at this point, economically impacted by it because my husband and I can still work from home. I guess we'll see how that goes as time goes on and we see what happens in the economy. There's always the chance that we could be impacted economically. But for now, we're holding our own. We're doing okay. And we have our health, which is the most important thing. So this inside the four walls of our house, this has been a pretty peaceful, pleasant experience. And of course, that's why I said inside the four walls of our house, because I know we're all very well aware of the pandemic that rages on around us, the loss of life, the number of people who are infected by it, lost their jobs, their way of life has been put on hold. There are many, 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 many difficult things to this pandemic, and I am not trying to minimize that in any way, shape, or form. Many people have to go to work even though they're afraid to. They don't want to get the virus. My hat is off to each and every one of you who are doing that every day. I'm so grateful that you have the courage to put your own health and safety at risk to take care of the rest of the world. It's just so honorable. And I hope you each realize how amazing you are and how vital you are, and just what a great service you're bringing to the entire world by your commitment to showing up each day and doing your job. So thank you very much for that. So I'm really thinking about now, what does this pandemic quarantine look like as we start to come out of it? Countries around the world and states around the US are starting to think about, hello, Laura. They're starting to think about what it's going to look like when we come out of this quarantine. I was speaking with a woman in Switzerland this morning, and Switzerland has not been under any kind of lockdown, official lockdown. They've been discouraged from too much gathering in public and things like that, but they're still allowed to take walks and hike in the forest and in the mountains. So the country has kind of left it up to their sensible judgment, the individual's sensible judgment. And they've got coronavirus there, just like we do, and it's not nearly as bad there as it is here, but their death rate is a little higher than the countries around them. So who really even knows? But all I know is that the entire world needs to figure out what life looks like on the other side of this virus. And the leaders need to figure out what life looks like in terms of social distancing, wearing masks, having businesses at half capacity or 25% capacity or whatever that looks like. But I think the rest of us, and we'll just have to take our cues and our guidance from the leaders who are hopefully leaning into the guidance of the experts and the scientists and the data. And the rest of us are going to have to look at what we want our lives to look at when we come out of this from a quality of life standpoint. What kinds of activities that we used to be participating in do we want to carry forward? Which ones do we want to leave back there in the past? What kinds of ways of spending our time? We've all got a lot of time on our hands. How are we spending it? Are we spending it to grow as people? Are we binge watching Netflix shows? Are we doing a combination of both? I know for me, I realized early on that exercise was vital. I mean, I knew it. I just was kind of ignoring it or pretending it wasn't true or not taking it seriously. So about 2 weeks in, I realized how vital exercise is for me. And I've been able to make myself exercise almost every day of the week to, greater or lesser intensity, but moving my body every single day, which is keeping me calm and peaceful and connected and happy. And the one thing that I haven't done a good job at that I need to get better at is my shoulder. I was having physical therapy on my shoulder, and I didn't do anything for the first 4 weeks. No exercises, no rehab at all. And my shoulder hurts so bad right now, and the range of motion is horrible. And so I've been working the last 3 weeks to get better with it, but I'm still not good enough. And I don't understand why I can't just commit to it, because I don't like the pain. I enjoyed the growing, increasing range of motion that I was having with 3 months of physical therapy leading up to the quarantine. And so I just need to kick my own butt into gear and commit to it. And I have done shoulder exercises this morning already, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. I did them yesterday and the day before. But this is life, right? I think we all have some one or more pieces of life that we know we should put a little more effort into, and we just don't for whatever reason. And so this is my version of it. I haven't been caring for my shoulder the way I want to and the way I should have. So each day it's just a process of reminding myself to put my shoulder at the top of my list. And it's hard because there are other things at the top of my list, like exercise and like connecting with family and doing my work. So there are many things competing for that top spot. And sadly, my shoulder hasn't been in the top spot that often, but I'm trying to get it higher up there so that I take care of that each day. I would like to be able to go back to the physical therapist once we can reopen and start doing things like physical therapy. And I want to be able to go back to him and say, okay, I did a bad job for the first month, but then I got with the program and I'm doing it, and I haven't lost too much of where I was before I stopped coming here. That's what I'd like to be able to say, but right now I can't say it. So really it's about taking this time to look at where we want to put our attention and focus, and make sure that we're making a priority of the things that really feel important to us. That's the one area that I really need to focus on. So I'm promising here on this webinar, recording, podcast, live stream that I'm going to put my shoulder higher up on my list and take care of myself. It's even like painful to sleep right now. If I sleep on that side, I have to adjust my arm in such a way that I'm not putting pressure on my shoulder. So it's very annoying. But I'm committing right here to all of you that I'm going to do a better job. And Laura says that will keep them healthy, best judgments. Hopefully everyone will really do their part and practice better mindfulness. Gentle. Oh, yes. Oh, the shoulder is often connected to the heart in Chinese medicine. I wonder what that means for me. Does that mean my heart is working too hard? Or not working too hard, working overtime, trying to serve others? Or is my heart hurting from watching people suffering through the quarantine? Interesting. Yes, I will reflect on that. Thank you for that bit of wisdom. Interesting. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. Wondering what you're thinking of as you think of emerging from this long, dark tunnel that we are in globally, and what your life might look like on the other side. I encourage you all the time to think about it, and I'm still encouraging you because I think the saddest thing would be to emerge from this quarantine not having learned any lessons and not having created a better life for yourself. When my oldest daughter died of a heart defect when she was a baby, she was just 24 days old when she died in my arms. And it was the most horrific and profound experience of my life. And I remember the next day saying, I will not let her death be in vain. If I don't learn and grow as a person out of this experience and bring some good out of it, create some good out of it, then she died for nothing. And I will not allow that. I can't. And so I made sure I made a deep, unshakable commitment that I would do everything I could to learn and grow every way I could think of through that experience of her death. And I feel the same way about this quarantine on a global scale. If we don't learn and grow and create a better life on the other side of this, this pandemic will have been for nothing. We will have wasted so many lives. wrecked so many economies, caused so much, had so much, experienced so much suffering, and it will be for nothing. So let's create some value out of this pandemic, this quarantine, this global catastrophe that we're experiencing, and let's come out of it better than we went into it. All right, that is my thought for the day. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of the day, and I will see you here same time tomorrow.